Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to, well, dissect your sources and pull out those key insights, sometimes from unexpected places. And today is definitely one of those days we've got a challenge because our source material is, frankly, tiny, really concise. It's going to be a fascinating test, I think, of how much meaning we can actually pull from just a handful of words. Okay, so what are we looking at? It's excerpts from Past Perfect, Before Something Else. And the specific bit we're digging into today is just this. 7 past perfect before something else past before past. That's it. Right. So, okay, let's unpack this. It seems almost, well, empty at first glance, but the mission here is how much can we figure out, not just reading between the lines, but kind of analyzing the lines themselves. It's like, finding a single key on the ground. What can we deduce about the lock, the door, even the house, just from that one key? How much understanding can be shaped by these few words and that page number?
Yeah, it's a great puzzle. And what's really interesting, I think, is how the way information is presented shapes our expectations right from the start, even before we get to any main content. So even with, minimal data like this, if we look carefully at the structure, the word choices, the context, it can actually reveal quite a bit. So this deep dive, it's really about exploring how titles, subtitles, even just a number like 7 can prime us, how they sort of guide our understanding of what this past perfect before something else might even be about. It's really about how those initial cues frame our whole approach to the knowledge itself.
Okay, so let's kick off with that title, Past Perfect Before Something Else. I mean, immediately past perfect makes you think grammar, right? That tense, that
I
can
don't
be
know.
a bit tricky. But then the subtitle, Before Something Else, it feels like more than just repeating the idea. It's almost like guiding the reader.
Oh, absolutely. I think guiding is the perfect word. Past perfect on its own, it can be intimidating for a lot of people because you need to grasp not just that something happened in the past, but that it was completed before some other past point or event.
Right, that relationship.
Exactly. And that explicit subtitle before something else, it's not just repeating. I think it's actually quite brilliant. It tackles the common confusion head on. It clarifies that often unspoken second part of the puzzle, the thing that makes the tense difficult for many.
Okay, so it kind of demystifies it right away.
Yeah, it suggests the larger work, whatever it is, might be focused on breaking down complex ideas, maybe grammatical, maybe temporal concepts, and making them really accessible.
Okay, so it's clarifying the core function, the order of past events.
That's clear.
And then we get that hyphenated bit at the end, past before past. It feels different, more technical somehow, like a shorthand. What do you make of that?
Well, looking at the whole string, past perfect before, something else past before past. That last part, past before past, it really nails it down. It acts almost like a formula, a linguistic label for the concept.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not just a casual description, it's presenting the core temporal relationship directly. It's saying, this tense describes a past that happened before another past. Simple as that, almost.
So that tells us something about the author's style,
I
maybe.
think so, yeah. It suggests the work is probably concerned with precision. A very clear, maybe even analytical way of looking at time or sequence. It points towards an author who really values clarity, maybe breaking things down into fundamental components.
And speaking of components, there's that single digit.
That's
uh,
him.
Just sitting there. It seems small, but it's obviously a page number.
Yeah.
That tells us right away this isn't just some isolated quote. It's part of a larger work.
Definitely. It's structured.
But page 7 specifically,
Mm.
does that placement tell us anything more, being so early in whatever this is?
Oh, I think it tells us quite a lot. Placing a concept like the past perfect on page 7, that suggests it's considered foundational by the author.
Not some advanced topic tucked away at the back.
Exactly. It's not treated as a minor grammatical point, but maybe as a crucial building block, perhaps essential for understanding, I don't know, complex stories or timelines that come later in the work.
Huh. So it implies a deliberate teaching strategy.
It really does. It hints at a very methodical approach, almost like the author is saying, get this concept down first because everything else builds on it. It suggests a careful structuring of ideas, starting with the essentials.
Okay, so putting it all together, it's clearly from a formal piece of writing, part of something bigger, structured,
Hmm.
and this concept is positioned as fundamental right near the beginning. What kind of work does this sound like it might come from? A grammar book, something on philosophy of time, maybe narrative theory.
It could be any of those, that's true. But the way it's presented the title, the clarifying subtitle, that really precise past before past label, it leans towards something analytical, something that aims to really deconstruct and clarify maybe complex relationships, whether they're grammatical or conceptual about time itself.
It's very efficient language.
Incredibly efficient. It packs a whole layered idea about sequence into just those few words. It suggests the work values deep understanding over, just say, memorizing rules. It's almost like the author is creating a specific vocabulary, a precise way to talk about how we perceive or structure time.
It really is amazing how much we can sort of tease out from so little text. That explicit phrasing, past perfect, before something else, and then reinforced by past before past, and placing it on page 7. It strongly points to a highly structured, maybe quite analytical work. Something that wants to give you a very precise foundational way of thinking about how one past event relates to another.
Definitely.
It makes you wonder what other concepts are handled this way in the rest of the work.
Absolutely. And if we kind of zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, it really brings up an important point, doesn't it? Think about how much our understanding gets shaped, maybe even predetermined, by these things we see first. The titles, the labels, the chapter headings, even a page number.
Right, before you even read the first paragraph.
Exactly. How often do those initial snippets basically dictate how we approach the information that follows? And, what might we miss if we don't actually stop and sort of deep dive into those cues themselves?
That's a great point. We just sort of absorb them without thinking. So maybe the takeaway for everyone listening is next time you encounter something new, an article, a book chapter, whatever, maybe just pause for a second. Take a closer look at those introductory bits, the title, the headings, and just reflect for a moment. What clues are they giving you? What might the author be signaling about their approach? And how might that be subtly guiding your interpretation before you've even started reading?
Food for thought.
Definitely. Well, that's all we have time for on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.